Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the biggest leaker of them all? Is it President Obama or NSA leaker Edward Snowden? Well, Victor Davis Hanson is a senior fellow at Stanford University's Hoover Institution. He's the author of The Savior Generals, and he joins us now live. Victor, thanks a lot for coming on this morning. So I'm struck by how the president is outraged, his administration is outraged by the leaking of this information by Edward Snowden, and yet it was the Obama administration that leaked classified information when it helped the president, for example, during the time surrounding the killing of Osama bin Laden. Double standard?
Yeah, it is, because that was all in the context of the 2012 campaign. It wasn't just, unfortunately, the bin Laden raid. The bin Laden trove. We had pet reporters for the New York Times, the Washington Post, that bragged that they had exclusive access to that trove and reported things that were favorable to the administration. The Stuxnet cyber war against Iran, how do we find out about that? Through administration sanction leaks, the Yemeni double agent, the protocols of the predator target selection. All of these were leaked, and the reason that we found out about the AP was not because they were trying to expose leaks, but they were competitors with the administration in a sense. So they lost credibility on this issue.
And yet the irony is that no administration in history has been tougher on leakers than this one, gone after journalists, including one here at Fox, and has charged more people under the Espionage Act than all previous presidents combined. Why is that?
Yeah, I think the problem here is their credibility, that they come across to the public not so much as they're opposed to leaks, but they're opposed to the idea they don't have a monopoly on them, and that's dangerous. And then there's the issue of competence, where we have all these IRS problems, the AP problem, Benghazi. Then suddenly, what is a high school dropout making $200,000 a year doing? Shutting down essentially the NSA for 2 weeks. It's an issue of competence as well.
And then getting away. That is an excellent point. So you can't simultaneously argue that the U.S. intelligence agencies are all powerful, and then at the same time watch the incompetence with which they've handled this.
Yeah,
case.
I think it's bad to be seen as unethical, and it's bad to be seen as impotent. But it's really bad to be seen as impotently incompetent. The same thing with Russia and China. The United States would like not to be indecisive and not to be predictable, but to be predictably indecisive with all these red lines and deadlines and ultimatums that the president has issued the last 2 years. Unfortunately, these people who are not so principled as American politicians don't fear us. They're not in suspense about what we're going to do, and that's dangerous when we have these issues down the road like Iran coming up or Syria, etc.
But very quickly, it seems like the president's rhetoric is tougher when he applies it to his domestic opponents sometimes than to our international.
Yeah, I mean, when he says people are acting stupidly, or the Attorney General can say that Americans are cowards, or the President can urge Latino leaders to punish their enemies. I just wish he'd use the word enemies against the people abroad. Substitute the word conservative Republicans and put in Chavez or Putin, and we'd have a pretty tough president.
Victor Davis Hanson, really one of the most compelling writers writing in English as far as I'm concerned. I'm a longtime fan. Thanks a lot for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.